Guys, it's time for Breakthrough with Coach Lou. Coming to you live from Accelerate Life University, XLR8Life.com. Coach Lou will help you break through anything that's stopping you. Are you ready to get the motivation, the energy, the life, and all the success you really want and deserve? With no further ado, here's Coach Lou.
Yeah, guys, good morning, and welcome back to Breakthrough with Coach Lou. It's Monday morning, and it is 7:06 a.m. I don't know if you were watching on the Facebook venue, but if you were, you got the joys to catch my side camera and me going, we have a problem, Houston. We have a problem this morning. Yes, and make sure we are broadcasting correct and live everywhere we are supposed to. The joys of modern technology, guys. Things do happen. And I'm not even sure I'm live on all venues, but whatever venue you're watching me on, guys, this is why I always encourage you to watch on XLR8Life.com or CoachLou.com, because that is our most dependable broadcast channels. And making sure if you are watching on Facebook, please give me a heads up. Hello, good morning. Let me know you're on. I apologize if you got the backstage tour there real quick this morning. It just goes to prove I am a human being, guys. These things happen. Actually, it was a software glitch that occurred. So we're ready to rock and roll, though, guys. It is our morning. It is your morning. I am here for you to serve you. And I have a question for you to start the day off today. I want to ask you, have you ever wondered where the greatest successes in the world got started? The Michael Jordans, the Tony Robbins, anybody that you look up to and go, how did they get started with that whole thing that they do, or a great business? How did Apple get started? How did, anybody get started with this greatness? And you ask this question, and the truth of the matter is really quite simple, that the beginning of anything great always starts with the same thing, no matter whether you are a president of a country, or the CEO of your home. The deal is, it always starts with a great idea. Right here in the head, you get a great idea, and that's where everything started. Apple computers did not start, with somebody going, okay, we need computers. It started with a grand idea of how do you take something that's, helpful. And trust me, back in the days Apple started, none of the computers were really all that helpful, and make it something great. Okay, so same thing with, how does somebody like Tony Robbins go from being a kid living in his car, taking some interest in motivation, to being the man he is today? An idea of how to deliver greatness and, great ideas and training to people and make a difference in the world. But it all starts with an idea. Mother Teresa didn't just, get handed a piece of paper and said, this is what you're supposed to do, go help the world. She had an idea. Christopher Columbus, okay? It's a basic law of creation. Christopher Columbus had an idea that there was a new world. He had no map, no GPS, no world positioning system, no picture of what the U.S. looked like. As a matter of fact, kind of funny, the story of Christopher Columbus is this, about halfway through, they were getting hungry, they were out of food, and, his crew went to mutiny against him, and they were about to kill him for taking him on this journey to nowhere, when he said, stop. He said, you kill me, you're done for. I'm the only one that's sure we're going to find land. And they were like, well, you better, or else we're going to kill you. But the funny thing is he found land. He probably got pretty lucky there. But that started with an idea. What about Thomas Edison? Let's make a light bulb. Okay, up until Edison, you were candlelight, baby. There would be no OLED screens and phone screens and lighted TVs and everything else if it wasn't for this man thinking of making a light bulb. A light bulb to light up the room. Something that we take for granted every day. Walk in the house and go, click, and everything lights up. Now you don't even have to do that. You can say, Alexa, turn on the lights. Uh-oh. Everybody's house right now light up really good. I bet it did. All right. So seriously, but think about this. It started with an idea. Okay. Now the question is how many great ideas have you had? You right there. Yeah, looking at me or hearing me this morning, depending on what venue you're listening or watching on. Okay. What ideas have you had that just faded away? Or worse yet, that SOB stole my idea. Okay. I mean, stole your idea. Now, if you shared your ideas with somebody and they went and ripped off your prototype and everything, then they stole your idea. But if you just had an idea, okay, back when my dad was alive, he had heart attacks, and I thought of something. I thought of how annoying it is to wake up to the alarm clock, and how it jars you out of sleep, and and how many people have a heart attack first thing in the morning. 5 to 6 a.m. is the biggest time to have a heart attack, and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, alarm clock jars you out of sleep, annoying, everything that it shouldn't be, it is to wake up. And I thought, well, what if we made an alarm clock that started out with a very gentle sound? A little bit of light to simulate, the light getting up, especially for those folks of you that get up before the light, which many mornings I'm in that club until we get into summer season where we have enough hours a day time. But what if you have this thing that gently started getting light and gently started to awaken you, and maybe some specific brainwave sounds that helped your brain wake up, and did this slowly? Wow, what a good idea! How many lives would this save? How many cardiac patients would use this? And I was like, wow, yeah. Well, I didn't do anything with it. One day, I see the slow wake alarm clock, by Ronco or somebody like that. And I'm like, those SOBs took my idea. No, they didn't. Somebody else had the idea. I didn't call Ronco and say, what about this? And they said no, and then did it anyway. Okay? The reality of it was that idea died. And I let it go. Someday, I'll get around to it. Okay? So think about that the next time you have a great idea. Okay, you want to know why most really good ideas and amazing ideas that you've had, and many people I've known, and every single person on the face of this earth at some point has an idea that would change themselves, change their lives, change everybody's lives, change the world. You know why they don't become reality? The number one challenge is they're not clarity. There's no clarity there. I had an idea for an alarm clock, but I didn't go design and sit down and get excited and start designing and picture this. What would it look like? How would it work? There was no clarity. It was just a fleeting thought. It wasn't even, I can't even give it an idea to say that because I didn't do nothing with it. All right, number 2. People don't make a decision. Oh my God, I have a great idea. This would be amazing. Let's do it. Let's do it here and now. Make a decision. Do it. No, most people don't. I didn't decide. An example of the story. I did not decide to take action. Number 3 was lack of action. I didn't do anything. Literally didn't have the clarity, didn't have it like laser focused, didn't make a decision to act on it, and then didn't act on it. And number 4, I was like, well, I'm a kid. What am I gonna? How would you do that? I don't think I can do all that. I'm not going to be able to go meet with big companies and, manufacturers and so forth. So I didn't believe I could. Does this sound familiar, guys? Life Boost Coffee. Thank God for Life Boost Coffee this morning. Yeah, as the first morning, a little bit of candid share here with you that I have woken up to an alarm clock. Speaking of the alarm clock. And it was like I've been up nice and early and everything else, and all of a sudden this morning I'm like, what is that noise? I'm like, uh-oh, because I set my alarm clock as a catch-all, and I'm normally up every morning before that thing goes squawking. So I was like, oh no, into the cold plunge I went. had breakfast with one of the raccoons. Well, I didn't have breakfast. He had breakfast. I didn't have time for breakfast yet. Breakfast comes later. Yeah. And one of the raccoons was up and still running around the neighborhood. So, we had a little conversation while I was in the cold plunge. Raccoons are cool, by the way. Guys, if you think I always used to think they were nasty, miserable little creatures, but quite frankly, they're really cool, Okay, so your idea or your ideas could be the next biggest breakthrough, or possibly something that makes your life easier, or better yet, makes the world even better. So what 4 things that stop that we've already covered, kind of. All right. So why, where do you stall on that? Where do you stall on this? Do you lack the clarity? Is that your biggest thing? Ask yourself, guys. This is pretty deep this morning. I'd really like to see you get something out of this and really start to, get your ideas moving. Or do you lack the decision making to go, you know what, I'm going to do this? And then do you lack, even if you get that far, do you lack actually following through, or the belief that you can do it? Okay? Now I got a secret here for you. Don't let your ideas die. Okay? The minute they come to your head, there's like a time clock ticking on them. Okay? A countdown clock. Either you do something with it, or your brain is going to wash it out, because your head would explode with ideas. Okay? If you continually always just wait it. So write them down. You have this limited time window. Write them down, voice record them, something. When you have an idea that you go, oh my God, this is it. Now, it might not be exactly it. There might be some tweaking and honing, but if you don't get it down, you're done. Tell me if this isn't you. This is me. I get this great idea in the shower, and I'm like, oh my God, this is going to make things happen. It's going to make sure I don't have issues this morning, like with the software that we had that glitched us out for a couple of minutes, and stuff like that. And it's like, oh yeah, we can do this. 15 minutes later, what the heck was that I was thinking of? It doesn't mean we all have dementia or anything else, guys. It just simply means that we probably should have written it down. So what are some ways you can really lock in these ideas and make them come to reality? Okay. So number 1, you could carry around a pen and notebook all the time. Is that always convenient? It works real well in the shower. Picture it. You got your pen and notebook in the shower writing something down. Not so much. You could voice record on your phone when an idea hits and write it down later. Am I right? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. That's a much better solution, because you can go, hey Siri, start a voice recording.
You'll need to unlock your iPhone first.
I knew that was coming. But see, that's the type of thing. You could have your phone in the bathroom and just tell her to write, hey, take note of this. The ultimate idea capture would be to use Keys to Success Planner. A Key to Success Planner that I use with OneNote or another note-taking app. Why? Because you can write it on one device, or even voice record on one device, and it goes across all your devices. You got your calendar, you got your planning system all in one spot. It's the best of digital and manual, because you can write in there. Okay, because Apple or Android devices have pencils, pens, whatever you call them, Apple Pen, Apple Pencil, this, that, the other. And then you can, in your own voice say, by the way, I had another idea that doesn't take you, because sometimes by the time you're done writing, you're like, what was that other point I wanted? You can add voice and pictures and diagrams and everything else. A lot of times, a lot of us are very visual. And, I see in maps, okay, like mind maps, okay, how are we going to get there? There's different moving pieces, different moving parts, not just one thing, okay? And then you can also make it into a project that you can edit, diagram, and access from everywhere, and even share with your loved ones or your team. And it's literally like having a second hard brain for your drive. Hard brain for your drive. Hard drive for your brain. Let me get one more sip of this delicious Life Boost coffee. Guys, I'll tell you what, there's always going to be that day where you're just knocked a little sideways. I am so committed to bringing you the best show ever. And I'm going to share another little secret with you that I wasn't going to share with you this morning. It wasn't even on the idea. But, sometimes perfection is the enemy of what you're trying to accomplish. Don't wait until you're perfect at it. It's like note taking. It's like you're using the key to success planner that I talk about all the time. First you look at it, it's like, it's overwhelming. I'm not going to use 3/4 of what's on. Maybe you don't. Maybe you customize the pages. The thing is it gets everything in one place. Now, whether you use a paper notebook, whether you click through on my links and order Key to Success Planner, which I think is the most amazing. It took me a while to decide on, a system to use to do this stuff. But, whatever you use it. I suggest that. Give it a try. It is like next to nothing. Use my affiliate links, please, because we do get a small commission in that case, which helps support the show. But it's something where you can get it into one place and then categorize to really make life easier. And don't miss capturing. Capturing these are the most important thing. Get this stuff. Capture these ideas. If you never capture the idea and you lose it, doesn't matter how good an idea it was, you can't take action on something that you don't know what it is. Think about that. If you don't know what it is, how can you do anything with it? Well, scratching our heads going, wow, that's some pretty infinite wisdom, Coach. It pretty much is. But seriously, and we do it all the time. And I catch myself doing it. I'm like, I'll write that down in a minute. What a good idea. Oh, cool. And then I'm like, where did it go? The ideas come with an expiration, guys, if you don't do something to set them in. And people say, but Coach, I've also heard you say that every single thing you see or taste or smell or do or this is stored somewhere in your brain. Yes. The problem is if you ever have something valuable, so valuable you wanted to keep it safe and you stuck it somewhere and you can't remember where it is. Yeah, that's what happens with your memories. This brain here, even though our heads are not really that big, some days mine are. No, kidding. But seriously, there's a lot of space in there. This is like 25 of the 50, 100 of the computers, 200, 1,000 of the computers that we're working on right now that you may be watching me on going, wow, my computer's so cool, it does so much. Well, your brain does 100x, maybe 1,000x. But the thing is try to find a file on your hard drive if you don't name it. Try to do, you download something with a generic name or a picture or something, and you don't know where it went, and this, that, and the other, and you have no idea, and the name is this long, and it's only letters and numbers, and you have 10,000, 100,000 files like that, and you're going, where's that HEIC picture? If you name it, Mom and Dad's anniversary. When you want to make them an anniversary card or an anniversary something, you go right to Mom and Dad's anniversary because you have logged it in. Wedding pictures, stuff like that, baby's first step video. You want to label it and get it put somewhere where you know where it is. Am I right? Or else you might search forever. You might never find that baby picture. Mom and Dad's anniversary, this, that, last year's taxes, whatever it is, if it's not categorized and put somewhere. This is important stuff, guys. It's going to be really important as we continue on this week with our next trainings. Okay, next one we're going to talk about Wednesday morning is vision. Okay, that's that power to have clarity and focus. That is super, super killer important. But don't forget, it's really important to make sure that you are on the show every day, about 3 times a week. We're not going there yet. Maybe down the road it'll be every single morning. Not there yet, guys. But hey, we just did the jump from just Mondays to Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Let me know how you feel about that, if you would, please. I really, really would like to have an idea of how I can serve you best. And please invite more people to the show. This is important stuff. This is not something you go, let me keep all this knowledge to myself and, gain an advantage over the world. You do gain an advantage over the world by being on my show. You gain an advantage any audio or book you read that you find some value in. Okay? There's a lot of books. Like, I always recommend Mel Robbins' book, The 5-Second Rule. Absolutely apply this stuff. I use the stuff she puts in there. And we were talking the other night about, we were having a discussion about reading and stuff. I had a unique situation where I was dealing with a client whose sister-in-law reads, they had all these books, and they were all like brand new. A book a day, folks. And I was like, dang, she's got to be pretty intelligent to be able to absorb and do that. And they were like, she is. She's 85, and your mind's, I'm like, 85 and still knocking out a book a day? I was like, wow, how crazy is that? But to keep your mind active. But for the rest of us, she may be able to summarize that book in a heartbeat to you, especially with that deep focus of getting it all knocked out in one day. That's immersion, folks. So let's practice some of this immersion. But for the rest of us that might not have that exact ability to take in that much knowledge in a day, maybe we need somewhere to put our notes, our knowledge, our distinctions. Make that a planner. People say, I use Google Calendar. Guess what? So do I. For basic, notify me when I have an appointment or something. But Google Calendar doesn't help you plan your life or design projects. It can show you, hey, you got a meeting with Joe today, and on Friday you got to file the federal taxes, so that you have a to-do in a timeline. But that's all that is. You can't map and draw and put mind maps in there. I'm telling you, what I'm going to tell you today is going to be gospel to do. Go over to Key to Success. It's key, the number 2 success. Well, use my link. Use my link so that I get credit for it. But seriously, try this out. It is so inexpensive, and have them do the install. The extra $12 or $15 Brandon charges to do the install, do it. Don't do the self-install. It just don't. Get it done right. It takes them 10 minutes. It logs into your computer with you. Bam, done. But if you don't use my system, get a system in place where it's not just a calendar, not just a to-do list. You got to create maps. You got to get visual. Even if you say, hey, coach, I'm not necessarily, the visual's not my number one. Okay, if it's auditory, you can do a lot of recording of your own ideas. Do it in voice record. I love to, hey, and then later on listen to it and go, wow, I was on fire. Ooh, I'm on fire again from that. Fire yourself up, guys. Get excited. Get rocking and rolling. All right, here we go. So, Wednesday, we're going to get into vision and clarity. Be on the show. And if you happen to miss a show, guys, you can't be on at 7, work schedule changes or something, go over to xlr8life.com and go to our Breakthrough blog. All of these end up on the Breakthrough blog. So you've got several years worth of shows you can go back and listen to. And, funny thing is, I was watching the other day an instructor teaching on, cleaning up website and, how to get your message through better. And he said, be careful of putting dates in your blog posts. Here's a little thing if you're a blogger or you got a business with a website. He said, because sometimes somebody will look at the material and go, oh, that's old, just by the date it was published, and they ignore it. And I'm like, but some wisdom is infinite and timeless. I realize that some things, like if we were talking about the C word, that had a different impact in 2020. Notice I can't say the word. I don't want any slaps. Than it would in 2024. So yes, there are certain things that do kind of come with an expiration. Don't let that be your ideas. Don't let your ideas expire, guys. Live with faith, energy, passion. Always, and I mean always, live your dreams, guys, because you get one roundabout here. You make it the best. Have an amazing day. I will see you Wednesday morning. Be ready. In the meantime, go get yourself situated to win, to where you immediately have somewhere to put your ideas when you have them. You will find that this in itself, getting your ideas down in one place and getting your ideas out of your head and on paper or on digital or on voice is going to make a difference. Now, you may not use every single idea. You might mitigate it and put it down and mitigate the pluses and minuses and go, that really isn't the best idea. That's okay. Get practicing. The more you do this, the better it gets. It's like anything else. The more you exercise, the stronger your body gets. The cleaner you eat, the better you feel. Well, the faster you get this idea out of your head and on paper, the more apt you are to take advantage of it. And you might have an idea and you think, oh, and then you go, well, no, really what this is a way to adjust what I'm currently doing, or something like that. This is not, the next idea you have is the next million. It could be, though, and if you let it slide into your head and get stored way back here and you can't find it again, you just cost yourself $1 million. If you had an idea, something to do, maybe you're going through a divorce and you thought, if I do this for my spouse and started doing this, that could really turn things around. And then if you forget it and you don't act on it, it's not going to save you. Okay? Because remember, no one's coming to save you. No government, no next door neighbor. Nobody's going to come save you in this world. You are responsible for you. So let's start taking advantage of that. Live with faith, energy, passion, always live your dreams. Coach Lou signing off. Have an amazing day.
Ready to take it to the next level? Tune in to XLR8Life.com for our live shows, encore presentations, life-changing courses, and live coaching with Coach Lou himself. As Coach Lou always says, live with faith, energy, love, passion, and always live your dream.